Happy 25,000 subscribers. Honestly, this is surreal. You know, we found a cool niche with anime and fitness, and they're two things that I'm greatly passionate about. So whether you're an anime person, a fitness person, a mix of both, or neither for some reason, I am really glad you're here. Today's video is going to be a bit different. It has been requested for a long time that I share some of my own fitness journey with you, and specifically my competition history. And so to celebrate 25,000 subscribers, I figured I would give you just a brief glimpse of that. In today's video, I want to talk about my very first ever men's physique competition, which also happened to be my only one. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so this was my second and final competition I ever did. Yeah, I only did two. Essentially, I got my feel for it and then I got out. I'm obviously still a crazy fan of bodybuilding, but really it just wasn't for me in the long term. Going into this competition, I was around 170 pounds and I'm roughly 5'8". This was the best I ever looked while also still feeling great. A lot of times when you shed body fat and cut down to really low body fat percentages, you feel like crap. But I actually felt pretty good during this competition. And it's probably because I wasn't quite as conditioned as I could have been, and you'll see that in the pictures coming up. But I felt great, and I felt great about the way I looked. Now, while it was the best I ever felt about my physique, I do understand that I had a lot to improve on. So let's go ahead and take a look. First off, you'll note that my hair is completely different. Yes, I used to have a ponytail. Yes, I used to have long hair. That story is for another time. So as you can see, I was in men's physique. I had these awesome kick-ass board shorts on. And in men's physique, keep in mind too, the legs don't really matter as much. But I did work out legs. I was one of the guys there that had pretty decent legs, even though it didn't matter in this competition. But as you can see, I was pretty shredded. I was in good shape. I'm not sure exactly what my body fat percentage was, but it was pretty low. It was pretty low. My best shot out of all these was the back shot. Keep in mind, with men's physique, you only do 4 quarter turns. You're not supposed to do anything fancy like I did here. I was just having a little bit of fun with it. I was really happy with where I was at, and I just wanted to do something kind of crazy. So yeah, I think I was pretty shredded. My abs looked great. My chest looked great. My triceps, spot on. My triceps have always been my best feature of my physique. Now, there are definitely some areas I could have improved on. I've always had kind of weaker shoulders, and also that has to do with how you pose as well. So I think my shoulders could have increased quite a bit. And also, especially my traps could have. But the real kicker for me was I just needed to shred up just a little bit more. I think I could have shed another % or 2 of body fat and would have looked really good. I was definitely really full in this competition, which means my muscle bellies were really popping because I had had a lot of carbs the night before. One of the things I could have definitely improved on was leaning up just a touch more. I could have shown a little more vascularity, a little bit more feathering. Now keep in mind, this was when men's physique was just starting out too. So they didn't really know what they were looking for, and from my perception at the time, you still wanted to be really lean, but not quite to the point where they are now. They were kind of more looking for best beach body back then. So that's kind of what I was going for. The only thing that I was really lacking during this competition was my traps were down quite a bit. So I definitely needed to grow those and grow the depth of them as well. So if you're wondering, on my physique rating scale of 40, what would I give my own physique? Now keep in mind, this is from a physique division and also in my height and weight class as well. So I actually had really good muscle mass, especially compared to some of the other guys on stage in my category. So I give myself an 8 out of 10. From a symmetry perspective, it was pretty good. I think I give myself a 9 out of 10. From a proportions perspective, like I said, I think my arms could have maybe grown just a bit. Traps could have been a little bit bigger. So I'm going to give myself a 7. And then conditioning, like I said, I was hurting just a bit in that area. I could have had a little more vascularity and a little more feathering. So I'm going to give myself a 6. Bringing my grand total from my men's physique competition to a, what was it? 9 plus 8, 17, 24. Shit. A 30 out of 40. Hey, not too bad. Especially considering I usually give professionals somewhere around a 35 to 40. So having anywhere around a 30, not too shabby. But yeah, overall, you can see in these pictures, I had a lot of fun. I was always smiling. This competition was a fun time. In comparison to my bodybuilding competition that I did prior to this, that sucked. It was very strenuous. And there was a lot of negative side effects to cutting down for that bodybuilding competition. Bodybuilding competitions really take a toll on your body, physically and mentally. And that's something that people don't really talk about a lot. Like, I developed an eating disorder after my first bodybuilding competition because I just really didn't know what to expect. If that's something you would like me to talk about in a future video, feel free to let me know down below. Luckily, it only lasted a few months after the competition, But going into this physique competition the year after, I knew exactly what to expect and I knew exactly how to combat that. But still, I don't think people talk about that enough. Bodybuilders, while having some of the best physiques in the world, can sometimes be very unhealthy. The sport itself is extremely strenuous, and I have the utmost respect for anybody that does bodybuilding competitions, especially at the professional level. If you can dedicate your full life to this, that's incredible. So as you can see, I wasn't perfect by any means. In fact, if you're wondering, I actually came in 4th in that competition. I do think that if I had stuck with bodybuilding, I would have done really well at the amateur level. Having said that, I doubt I would have ever turned pro for 2 reasons. 1, it's extremely hard to turn pro. Really, to achieve it, you have to dedicate your full life to doing it. And 2, I was never willing to take steroids, HGH, or any other illegal supplement. It just wasn't in my cards, and unfortunately, that's what it takes to compete on the professional level in this sport. Having said this, I had a lot of fun, and when it was over, I swear I could have killed any food competition out there. Scoot aside, Joey Chestnut. Starving bodybuilders are coming for your world records. Would I ever do another competition? Probably not. I enjoy training and becoming the best version of myself, but I don't need a competition to do that. And also, to be honest, I like burgers too much. So it's been just a little bit about me and my competition and training history. I hope you found it fun and insightful. And thank you so much again for 25,000 subscribers and over 10 million views. That's like insane. I want to know, what was the first video you ever saw on this channel? Let me know in the comments down below and make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks so much again, and I will catch you in the next video.